Alright guys, Leo here, back again with Ninja. So we did a video about a year ago, shoulder blade kind of mobility, and we went through some treatment and some training as well. So we want to do a part 2 to that one. So we're going to be treating through some of the front of the shoulder here, which we didn't get to do last time. So there's a lot of implications with the front of the shoulder that can cause tightness in the body. So with Ninja, if you want to come and just have a look from the side actually, Ninja. So
where do you want me?
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
So we can get the camera on the side. Ninja's got pretty good profiling right now. In some instances, you might have some rounded shoulders that come forward like this. So you can have like the pec minor, some of the serratus, and some of these other structures here holding some tension through the front. And that can kind of off-center the scapula off the rib cage. I was saying last time that scapula is a floating joint, you know, on the rib cage here. So you've got like a tug of war happening between some different structures. Your rhomboids bring it towards the center of your spine. You've got some of your rotator cuff muscles that pull it against the arm here in the GH joint. And then you've also got some structures to the front of the shoulder here, like the pec minor and the pec that pull on the shoulder this way and can kind of displace that scapula. So we'll do some stuff through the front first. I'll get Ninja, jump on your back, mate. And we'll start there. So, one I like to start with is the pec minor. Just at the top of the collarbone here. Spot called the coracoid process. So it attaches at the top here. We'll start where it attaches here, Ninja. And how's that feeling so far?
Yeah, now you're starting to sink in a bit deeper. I can feel
the connection?
The connection, yeah. And what's going on.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to get used to the coracoid process here and just assess how the tightness on the attachment point is here. So I'll hang out here for a bit and let Ninja receive the treatment for a second. But what I want to do is make my way down the fibers of this pec minor. So minor being the smaller muscle, there's a big pec major over the top of it. This one runs underneath the pec major and it kind of fans out, I think in like 3 or 4 fingers, a couple of different rib attachments here. So I'm going to make my way down, nice and slowly, just picking up the slack and the fascia on my way through. Any referral, Ninja? How are we feeling?
No referrals, but very connected. And when you were first in, yeah, I could just feel the therapeutic kind of sensations and the connection where the tendons are joining onto the bones. Mm-hmm. Just my own personal awareness was heightened by what's going on in that area when you were connecting in with it. So it's good.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's about, you know. If we can tap into that, get the body to receive and feel those therapeutic sensations, you know, why not chase those, you know?
It's good, man.
So yeah, this is just kind of like a lighter pressure with the fingers. I mean, depending on body size and tightness, we can jump in there with an elbow as well, or a thumb. But I find a nice opening sequence like this can work really well. So definitely feeling some tension as I get further down. So as we kind of get through the belly of the muscle, we start to get to the attachment points onto the ribs. We can have a big sort of impact on the fascial connections here and with the ribs as well. You can just imagine different lines of ribs and fascia that kind of attaches onto each point and other muscles that attach into here as well. So we're affecting all of that too. As you can see from my line, it's kind of this pull down, which if it was tight, pulling this collarbone down and forward, collarbone being an extension of the scapula. So in essence, kind of bring that shoulder down and forward and causing some dysfunction through the shoulder and the front side of the body here. Ninja, how's the pressure here, mate?
Yeah, good, man. I can handle it.
Yeah.
Comfortable. Yeah. Yeah, like I said before, like I have got awareness when you start to go through spots that are a bit more stuck or where they're joining onto the bones. I can really get a sense of what's going on under the skin.
Yeah.
It's all hidden under there, isn't it? We explore and we kind of reveal, you know, pains and tightness and blocks.
That's it.
Like that. So yeah, it's great for my awareness.
So we just finished off there. We might do another line. Start back here at the attachment. Speaking of awareness, Ninja was saying that there was a lot of awareness here where the muscle attaches onto and it felt quite therapeutic, so might just give this one a bit more time as well.
It's good. Honour what's beneath your thumb or fingers at the time.
Yeah.
And sort of, I broke right around my collarbone, like when I was 18 or 19, so over 30 years ago, but that push into there took me right back. 30 years just like that, you can be there because that alarm system's still there, isn't it? There's a memory of of that trauma.
Yeah.
And I got triggered.
How did you do that one?
I just Aussie rules football.
Yeah.
So I just kicked the ball and got bumped by someone just after I'd kicked it, and I just was kind of in the air, I think, off balance, and just sort of snapped the bone really easily.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the biggest hit. It just must have been.
But it was kind of like a clean break through.
Just snapped it, and ever since it's just been sitting like that. They let it heal. Just one part of the bone on top of the other.
Yeah.
And it's knitted together really strong, but I've ever since then my range or just the way my arm moves when I sprint,
Sure.
the elbow kicks out that little, so I haven't been able to get full.
So at the time they weren't thinking of operating or like aligning that?
Nah.
Was it something that you didn't want to do at the time, or?
No, it wasn't an option.
Wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Down in Tassie, down there.
Yeah,
they weren't.
down in bloody Tasmania. So that was the only time I've been in an ambulance.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the next line I want to do, speaking of collarbone, this pec major really attaches on this line of the collarbone as well. So I'm going to be using my pisiform. So there's this little structure on the sort of palm of my hand here. And again, aligning myself to the skeleton, that's the deepest level of connection we can sort of have with the body here. And just sink into that collarbone, catching some of those tendons and fibers there. So far so good, Ninj, how's that?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I can feel that you're connected in deep, but it's not overwhelming at all. I can handle it. And now I think you're maybe getting into some sore spots. I'm still good. Yeah, along that collarbone, that's sort of...
Yep.
Can feel some old scars in there.
So we're on top of now where that pec minor sort of hit out was, where we just had a bit of a dig in, but trying to aim these ones towards the pec major. So what I can do here as well is passively bring the arm up like this.
Whoa.
And that'll start to lengthen the pec major fibers. And even just little micro movements like this, I can release the tension a little bit and then lengthen it again. And instead of using my own pressure, well, I can kind of keep my same pressure here, but I can use the body to now dictate how much pressure or tension is going into those or into that spot. And even just this release, extension, just, it gives a bit of different awareness when treating. I can kind of, just wiggle my way into that space. Again, that pisiform, the base of my palm is staying connected to the collarbone there. Just relax that arm there, Ninj. I've got to reinforce here because all the pressure was going through my right arm only. My tricep was starting to fatigue. So a bit of a tricep workout for me too, a bit of a chest workout. Ninja's coming off that a little bit too, had that lift club on a Monday. So you were saying your Shoulder's a bit, I guess, tender, but the chest not so much.
Yeah, chest's okay. Just sort of that anterior deltoid bicep tendons from doing dips, I'd say. Yeah.
Well, it depends how you do dips as well. Some people feel it more in the chest, other people more in the triceps. I think maybe the narrower the grip as well, probably more prone to feeling it in the triceps.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to lean forward and get the chest into it.
Yeah.
But,
Might have got more shoulder maybe, man.
yeah, a bit more shoulder this time.
Bit sharp in here, Ninja. How's it feeling?
That's kind of like feel that deep attachment in there, and awareness of it's probably a bit of work soreness, bit of loading through there, more so than like a dysfunction or an injury.
Sure.
But
it's a pretty interesting attachment here on the, the sternum here, this kind of breastplate. Big muscle, as I said, and you can probably see the line in the body here. All of the attachments just forever attaching the whole way up. So a lot of fascia to clean through. Because of that, we'll just take our time as we go through. A lot more nerve endings in fascia.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot more pain sensation as well. The intensity can be quite high.
Oh.
Yeah, jumping over some bumps there, but staying connected as I kind of ride those speed bumps, making sure I'm catching the fascia, micro-tearing the fascia, resetting that tissue, and just ultimately just allowing for greater quality of movement and range of motion in the joint. Again, once that fascia gets cleaned, it's kind of like cleaning out the the webbing in your garage kind of thing. The spiders have kind of laid down all this webbing, and just got to gain access, create some more flow through the area, get to those back corners, and be able to move around properly. It's about kind of clearing or micro tearing that, or that type of tissue anyway. So kind of arrived at the sternum here, a bit more directly on it. And we're just kind of honouring the pace. It is a long stroke, but we don't have to speed it up. Body's kind of used to this pace right now. And just kind of settling in and receiving it to the best of his ability.
Yep. Know that you're a friend, not a threat. That feels good.
Pressure okay?
Yeah, it's good, man. Really good pressure.
Yeah, nice. Same way we came in, same way is how we'll sort of exit. So slow, let off the pressure there. So as you can see, Ninja's kind of nice and open. I mean, even with, I guess, the body language and the stance here, it's kind of this opening up of this area, which is really good. Next, we'll get into that more tender spot. So we'll approach it with a bit more, I guess, caution. So we use a thumb maybe instead of a palm, or in some instances we can get an elbow in there as well. So really sinking in here. You got your deltoid to get through. We can get to the level of the bicep tendons here. So another one of those structures that can compromise the shoulder joint in a way is your bicep. Obviously you've got your muscle tissue here, two main tendons coming up and under the deltoid and attaching nice and high in here actually. One of them right on that collarbone coracoid process where we started our treatment. And then the other one, the long head of the bicep, into the side of the GH joint or the glenohumeral joint here, that ball and socket area. Still getting in deeper, so just spending time on this this point. No rush to get through it, as I still feel like I'm sinking in further with the more time that passes. So those tissues are just getting out of the way, able to foster a deeper connection here. How's that feeling, Ninj?
Yeah, it's good, man.
Any referral on it? Pretty localized?
Just local, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. You're doing a good job because I'm comfortable. It's going at my pace, my tissues unraveling, and yeah, it feels really good, respectful, and holding space well, man.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about, I think.
Yeah.
I think the pace is really important.
Yeah, it feels safe this way, you know. You're not going too fast, bull at a gate, and
Yeah.
not tuned, you know, you're tuned in this way. So you're going to get it right. You can feel it coming up. Well, it's getting more intense now.
So yeah, what we can do as well, and I've probably gone in there with, not the wrong thumb, but if I'd gone in with my right thumb, it might have been a bit easier for me too. I can grab the arm here and in, so just relax there.
Yep.
Just tap into your breath a bit. Just let the breath guide. Nice. So what I'm doing here is just articulating that GH joint, that ball and socket, and I can just feel different parts of this joint sort of rise up into the pressure of my thumb here. Feeling that one's probably the spiciest. Still quite localized, Ninj?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, man.
Yeah.
So it really is about feel, sensing. Now that I'm kind of quite deeply connected here, I can use my thumb to really feel into the structures that are pushing up and letting that kind of guide my treatment. So even this is enough, this dynamic style treatment, pinning that one spot, which is obviously, you know, quite intense right now. But it's this kind of right in the middle of the shoulder here. If you really look at it from above, it's kind of this midpoint of all the tissue. So I'll fold that arm back in.
That's good.
So that's the old pressure out, pressure in. So I've got to chuck this thumb in a bucket of ice quickly, but I'll reset with the other thumb, and so hopefully that was as seamless as possible. Ninj, how was
good,
that?
Man.
That was all right?
Didn't even know that you changed.
So there you go, and I think that really just, you know, makes sense how pace can, or, you know, not necessarily like a fast pace, but like going this slow, you can, yeah, I mean, the client Ninja didn't really even notice the change of the hand right there, so that means we're pretty connected, and the body sort of had that time to receive it. And from my perspective now, I'm more at an advantage now with my own kind of pressures on my body. I can pin it a bit easier from this side, don't have to lean over Ninja, and I can just control the arm now with way more control and comfort. Just relax that arm, Ninja. Yeah. Nice, nice. Ninja's doing really well.
Handling it.
Handling it.
Yeah.
Just find that rhythm in the breath. I feel, you know, I mean, there's many ways to try and receive the treatment. You can yell out loud, you can shout, you can scream, you can laugh. People have their different ways and often cycle through different ones. But I often find like sometimes the breath can really help. Instead of like using the mind to acknowledge the new sort of pain sensations or the intensities that come up as we go through the treatment, sometimes you can use the breath to scan for that, whatever that sensation is. So kind of acknowledge it with an inhale and then let it go with an exhale. And even that exhale in that same fashion should be let go, not even like breathing out, more so like sighing it out in a way. It's kind of like an act of not doing, you know, breathing in is kind of doing, but exhaling is kind of not doing. You're kind of allowing it to happen in and of itself. So it can be a good tool to use for just some increased awareness in the body. So I've definitely caught on to a nice line here. Now we haven't moved much, but it still can be such a powerful, I guess, response for the body. Maybe you can ask Ninja how he's feeling, because we haven't moved much, man. We've only come down a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like you're going a foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not far. Yeah, when you experience it, it's totally different to what it looks like. Oh, lived experience. Yeah, it's good. Whoa, you're pinning something there, man. That's it's important. It's good. Yeah, so I think going back to what you were talking before, I think when you do feel the discomfort and the challenge coming up, to don't try and hold it in and things like that. It is good to breathe or to express in some kind of way. It's like the energy is moving, the stuff is shifting, rather than kind of trying to hold on to it and not acknowledge it and be detached or something and not present with it.
All right, so that was a pretty good line down there. I reckon we'll do one more. Let me grab my coconut oil from here. So that was more, we might have touched on a bit of the long head of the bicep here. I want to try the short head. So that's a bit of a button there that we pressed and is giving some intensity to the body. Any referral up the arm, Ninja, or just
Nah, it's good now.
localized?
Yeah. It's a bit in there, but no. Past it.
So yeah, climbing back on the bicep tendon here. Can you just push up into my arm here, Ninja? Just give me a bit of a bicep curl, yeah, and relax. And one more time. Nice. So yeah, we're starting to turn to a bit of tendon here. Just got to navigate it through the deltoid. So that deltoid is obviously sitting on top of this bicep tendon, which goes underneath it. So a bit of a challenge staying on the course here as we bump into some of the superficial structures, but we're still trying to stay deep. So it comes with some awareness of the anatomy here as well, as I kind of hop onto the deltoid area.
Oh dear.
And then we might hang out here for a bit. Now that we've got that bit of the pec structure, a bit of the deltoid structure in the way now, I just want to sink in a bit deeper, get back onto that bicep tendon, and then yeah, run it up to the shoulder there. Just localized still, Ninja?
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
It's a bit in there.
Again, these little micro movements, this dynamic nature of treatment just really gives me additional feedback of that bicep tendon and the groove that it runs into, or that it runs through to get up to the shoulder here. So again, just feeling out the anatomy with the movement and with the connection as well, all gives me good intel that I'm on the right track still. Obviously, the most important feedback is the one of the client as well. So Ninj, how's this line feeling up here, man?
Up here is fine, but yeah, just where we just before, it's a bit tender, and this feeling okay. And can't really sense anything coming up either. It's good for right now.
So again, we started right up here on the coracoid process, which is where this bicep tendon also attaches to. It's pretty incredible to think that the bicep, you know, we always kind of think about it as down here in the arm, but literally has a connection directly into the shoulder.
Oh, that's tender on top of there. Feels like it's pretty close to where it was broken at some stage.
For sure, right on the coracoid process. And we've done a bit of work through there as well. All right, so that's a bit of the front of the shoulder. We might turn Ninja over right now and we'll do one line through the money spot and that medial border of the shoulder blade. Boom. All right, Ninja, comfortable there?
Yeah, man.
So I want to get my landmarks right. You can probably see the border in your shoulder blade here. There's that little shadow. And you've got the spine of the scapula here. So there's this kind of junction just through here. Now obviously just on palpation, that's quite a bit for Ninja, but we'll see how we go sinking an elbow into this spot.
Whoa.
And I think we're on here.
Oh, Jesus. It's pretty tender.
Pretty tender, so.
But yeah, maybe a little bit of referral.
Whereabouts?
Vague, sort of up into the neck.
Yeah.
Behind the ear a little.
Yeah.
Like it's just a faint awareness.
Yeah, so that makes sense there. This is a kind of key hotspot where that levator scapula attaches to. Levator, elevator of the scapula. Bit more Latin for you there.
Yeah.
So it raises the shoulder up and it attaches kind of directly behind the ear. So that's probably the reason for the awareness that Ninja's getting there. We're really impacting the attachment of that muscle.
I feel like levitating, mate.
He feels like levitating. This is literally what this treatment can do.
Oh.
Bit of Red Bull in here, man.
Yeah.
Giving you some wings.
Yeah. It's interesting, the concept of, levitation and gravity. Because we've got things that kind of levitate in, like just water evaporating. It's levitating, you know what I mean? Like water going up into the leaves of a tree through the root system, it's interesting, isn't it? We kind of never kind of mentioned that word, levitate. I heard someone talking about it like years ago on a video, and it's sort of stuck with me, like we've got all these phenomenons, but we've got opposite phenomenons as well, so it's sort of like interesting to ponder.
Yeah. As in levitation being the opposite of something, or
yeah, levitation's the opposite of something getting pulled down,
Sure.
So yeah, it's crazy. I'm always fascinated with water, how that evaporates.
Yeah, how it evaporates, right?
Yeah.
Getting to a certain temperature.
Yeah.
And I guess the opposite, it kind of, when it is in its liquid form, it consumes, to its lowest point, the lowest point of anything.
Yeah.
Fills all the gaps in the spaces.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're hitting the left scap here, and we're also pushing through the superficial tissue, so impacting the traps in a big way as well. At that junction point really of, more so in the mid trap here, but just kind of below the lower trap as well. So it's good bang for your buck spot, this one.
Oh.
Still referring up to the neck, Hinge?
No.
More local, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still a good spot though.
Good spot,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe if you want to move that shoulder around a bit, maybe come up into like a bit of a Superman maybe. So just bring that arm up, kind of by your ear.
Oh,
So
I can't
you can-
move it too quick.
That's
It's
fine,
it's
that's
a little
fine.
bit. I kind of like moving things slowly when I'm doing the dynamic treatment as well, because I feel like you're kind of giving time to hit the different aspects
Sure.
as that knot's moving through or the tendon's moving through.
And then maybe out to the side, or again, maybe whatever comes intuitively to you, just kind of use the elbow as a tool and just work your body around that.
Ugh.
Yeah, so good.
Oh.
Definitely changing the intensity on the pressure in some angles there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, far out.
So yeah, really unlocking some of the tissue here with that movement. Nice.
Oh, dear.
Out there's a bit rude, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right, we're just working through it. Getting more comfortable with the ranges, getting some more confidence in those ranges, and we're also just manipulating the tissue here as well. So yeah, you can come back to that starting position when you're ready.
Oh.
So yeah, just important to slowly turn off as well. I'm not sure if you did or didn't there, but oftentimes when we're doing the dynamic stuff, it can be quite intense, and then as soon as you start to turn off and come back to a resting position, it obviously disengages the muscle, and with the same pressure, it's almost like it wasn't ready to kind of kick back in again. So just like I'd sink in here and sink out quite slowly. Again, with dynamic treatment, if you're going to do it, just make sure to maybe advise the client before we start, or once you're through that movement, just to get back to that starting position and keep some tension in the muscle, and then come out slowly. Ninja, pressure here.
Yeah, that's okay. It's sort of when you were traversing through, I could kind of feel some little spots, but it's not so bad right now. Yeah, the money was probably previous.
On that money spot, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think based on that, we might just sink out here. Nice and slow again. Giving the body time to account for that movement. And so Ninja can take his time, maybe sitting up when he's ready. But we will go through some exercise following this, just to open up that area, mobilize that area a little bit more. We've already started on it with some of the dynamic treatment, but we'll give you some updated exercises after this. So that's what we can do for shoulder, a bit more of the anterior side of it. Some key spots that we worked through there, and Ninja feeling a bit sort of looser, freer through there. How we going, man? What's any feedback post-treatment?
Yeah, it's feeling quite different to the other side, because I had an equal amount of work doing my dips and stuff.
Sure.
Pull-ups and things, so yeah, I felt the pull-up muscles when you're doing that.
Of course.
The old shoulder blade, so it was good. Yeah,
nice.
just awareness of different places in my body, what's been worked and what's sort of a bit sore and
Yeah, cool.
loaded and things like that. So yeah, get a lot out of it.
Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. That's another one, another banger. We'll be back for more soon, all right?